Welcome to Divine Line's first official episode, Chillin' on the Track. What this episode really embraces is the fact that we look at life as a race for some reason. And everybody tells you, don't give up on the race, just keep running, keep going. But what happens when you're in the race and you're just chilling on the track? You never make it past the finish line. And what I realized after publishing my book was that I was chilling on the track for years and I didn't even realize it. I felt so comfortable being in the state of I almost did it. I almost went all the way. And I would get almost to the end of the finish line and just never cross. What I realized was your nervous system has pretty much everything to do with this. We create a safety net around our environment, whether that's chaos or not. What you've been involved in over the years becomes your normal. A lot of us have so much potential that we ourselves just prevent from releasing, prevent from accomplishing, prevent from doing. And it all stems to the root cause of you feel like you might not be good enough. You're scared of what the product is going to look like. Maybe you value success in a certain way that you feel like you're not going to attain it. You might think, what's everybody else going to think? And for me in particular, that was probably one of the biggest hurdles I had was not only what everybody else was going to think, but what was I going to think? And it really hit that like imposter syndrome a lot until I realized, who cares? You just got to do it. You're never going to know until you do it. We spent so much time going around the track and going around the track and going around the track. And maybe you did, whatever the 4 laps for the mile, or you almost got to the last part. But at the end of the day, you see everybody around you going for it, and they cross the finish line. And then you get right there to the finish line and you said, I kind of want a water break. Or, oh my gosh, is that so-and-so sitting in the sidelines? Let me go say hi. Any type of distraction just to prevent you from crossing the finish line because you're deep inside scared of what that looks like when you do something new. When you finally start something and finish something new. What I want to share with you guys is the fact that you never know unless you try, number one. And it's really cheesy to have heard that all these years, but it is truly a fact. When you apply that logic into your life, you never know until you try. Whether it's, working out. You want to work out, or you complain about you're unhealthy or this and that, and you don't work out. Well, you can maybe go for a walk or maybe eat healthier or whatever the case is, but you never know until you try. So you'll never see the side of healthy until you change your way of thinking or your patterns, your habits. Literally, it's just one choice you have to change in the next minute. What that looks like with your nervous system is a comfort in chaos, a comfort in discomfort, a comfort in lack, a comfort in just a state of fear. One thing that I noticed is a lot of people are stuck in this fight, flight, or freeze, and they don't even realize it. I didn't realize it. I was in fight, flight, and freeze for years. Not even just one or the other. It was like a combination of all of it. I didn't want to do more than what was required or the bare minimum. I wouldn't push myself forward. And all of this came from a lot of pain that I was retaining, a lot of weight that I was carrying that was not my weight to bear. Came from pretty much not forgiving others, and more than that, not forgiving myself for letting this go on for so long. You see, I've noticed in the past year how much pain really numbs somebody. And it numbs you so much to the point where you feel like somebody might be throwing daggers at you. You don't even feel them anymore. It's like passing right through you. You don't even see anything wrong. Not until you start realizing and asking yourself the really tough questions. Why am I not doing more than what I should be doing for myself? Why do I feel like this when I wake up? Why do I feel like this when I go to sleep? Um, I think if we're all being honest with ourselves and you really ask yourself the question, do I feel great or do I feel like poop? And the moment you're actually honest with yourself, it's the best first step. Because the first thing you got to realize is you're not okay. None of us are, I'm still not there. But this has helped me realize a lot of patterns that can help you guys start seeing yourself a little bit different. Because healing is definitely a marathon. I got to tell you, it is not an easy path at all. I hate running. And if I was to compare this to running, it would be something like, I don't know, running a 5K and I can barely run 1 mile. So it is tough. But what I will say is that if you put in the work for yourself to heal and to feel better, the reward is that, I don't even want to say the trophy you get at the end of the race or the medal. It really is just the fact that you feel different. There is nothing better than feeling happy about yourself. Feeling comfortable in your own skin, in your own thoughts, in your own heart, in your own mind. You know, one thing that I also reflected on was the fact that many of us look at ourselves in the mirror and feel like maybe we're not choosing ourselves. If you had the opportunity to be anybody else in the world, anybody, would you pick them or would you pick yourself? Regardless of what you went through, regardless of what you're going through right this minute, would you pick to be somebody else or would you rather pick yourself? And if the answer is somebody else, then you have some work to do. I did. I mean, I picked a million other people a bunch of times, which is why I felt like I would adjust my train of thought, I would adjust my actions, I would adjust a lot of things about my life to try and match these different people that maybe I admired or maybe I wanted a certain lifestyle they had. And I would try to, well, maybe if I can be like them, then it would come to me. That's not how that works. And the sad part of this is the fact that if you're picking somebody else instead of yourself, your soul feels that. Your body feels that. Your heart feels that. Your mind feels that. And they probably said, are you kidding me? We have carried you through all this pain, all this trauma, got you through the highs, through the lows, through everything, and you're still going to choose somebody else after all of this? At a certain point, your body gets tired of waiting for you to wake up. That's when depression sets in, anxiety sets in, different diseases start to manifest because your body can only retain so much emotion, so much weight, so much stress. And if we're being realistic, the truth is you can't be anybody else ever. Like, you're going to wake up tomorrow and still be you. So the time you're investing in imagining this life of being the runner next to you or being the runner that's like way almost at the finish line, or maybe the one that's way on back there chit-chatting with all their friends and strolling in the park, you can imagine it all day and night, but you're just avoiding the inevitable, which is that you need to love yourself. You need to figure out a way to heal yourself so that in the morning when you wake up and you look in the mirror, you say, I'm thankful for you. I admire you. I'm grateful for you. You're killing it. You're beautiful or handsome, whatever, you know, and just look at yourself in a whole different perspective because you got yourself to this point in your life. And I know we have all gone through things. I don't say my story is any harder than anybody else's or any sadder than that does not apply. It's the fact that everyone goes through something. And regardless of the weight that carries, your body still moves forward. Time still passes by. You still continue. And either your heart, mind, soul, everything moves forward with you, or you stay in this cycle of like, why did this happen to me? And why does this runner get this and I don't? And then that just keeps adding on to the weight as to why you never make it to the finish line. I think the nervous system is something that is really not talked about much, or if it is, I must have missed that class in school because I never understood how important this is. And your nervous system, it runs from school all the way down. Like it's your whole body. And just how you're stuck, well, I don't want to say stuck, but just how you're still living in this life of not feeling too good about yourself, or not feeling too happy, or maybe you want to start something new, but you're scared. Maybe you want a new career path. Maybe you don't even like the relationship you're in. Maybe you need to set different boundaries with people around you or everybody around you. That was hard for me. The boundary part. Like once I realized how much I love myself and how much pain I was allowing from other people, and it didn't even faze me when it was happening. I didn't even know it was happening until I started healing, and I'm like, wait a minute, this person's not that nice, or this situation is something I really shouldn't be in. That is why I say healing is not, for the weak-hearted, but is extremely, extremely rewarding. And at the end of the day, you only have one life. Don't you think that if tomorrow is your last day on earth, you would have wanted to at least feel what it feels like to feel safe in your body again, to love yourself 100%, to not even give up, about what anybody else thinks. It's just you in this life. I know there's, everybody exists in the world, but you're the only one in your own perspective. And every time you let somebody else's thoughts or opinion, or what are they going to say, what are they going to think, or you're paying attention to the runner here or the runner there, you miss what's right in front of you, which is the finish line. The scariest part about the finish line is not knowing what comes next. And a lot of us are conditioned to think that we're going to fail. It's not going to work out. It's not going to create the outcome that you expected. But when you start loving yourself, the outcome does not become something measured by views, measured by opinions, measured by a trophy, a medal, none of that. When you start loving yourself, the finish line is rewarded with the fact that you did it for yourself. It doesn't matter what comes after. You proved to your own self that you wanted something and you did it. You started and you finished. And it doesn't matter. You can walk the track. You can be chilling and just walk on up and walk past the finish line, or you can run to it. The beautiful part is everybody has an opportunity to make their life unique, make their life special, make their life marvelous and grand, and all the amazing things that are out here for us. Anything that you want in this life, anything. There is a tool out there to help you get it. You might have friends that are doing what you want to do. There's some resources. We have the internet. Like, there are no excuses why you're in a situation that you're miserable in, that you're not happy in. There's no reason why any of us should still stay there. If you have to work in a career that you don't like, that's okay. Like, figure out a way to make it work before you can jump or do this other part. I have 2 other jobs, and my other 2 jobs are pretty much just fueling this project, let's say. For a long time, I thought I could only have one and not any of the others. And I realized, like, why? I can have anything that I want, because who cares, And that's the attitude that I hope some of you guys might have at the end of this podcast, is the fact that you can do this. The worst thing that we can do to ourselves at the end of the day is limit our potential. If you try something and you fail, and I say that in quotations because there's no such thing as failure, it's just a lesson learned. It's an experience. That's all this life is one humongous experience from start to finish. When you start realizing that it's just an experience, and what happened yesterday has the power to stay today or not. And the only person or thing that determines that is you and your mind. Once you start choosing yourself, your nervous system starts recognizing that. Your nervous system at first might start panicking. For example, when I went on Facebook Live the first time, my heart was beating out my chest. Then when I recorded the trailer for Divine Lines, I re-recorded that trailer at least, I don't know, a good 15, 20 times because I thought, oh my gosh, this doesn't sound right. And it's all normal. That's part of my nervous system still healing. But I told myself, you know what? It doesn't have to look perfect for everybody else. I'm over here pretending like I'm talking to myself in the mirror. And my heart is chilling right now, surprisingly. But actually not surprising because I've been putting in the work to choose myself. I've been doing different things lately, setting boundaries, telling myself how amazing I am, doing things that I genuinely want to do with my days. Even if that requires working, I go to work with a positive attitude because I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have. I'm grateful for the fact that I woke up the next day. And I don't take that lightly because there's so much that the world has to offer, even with all the chaos going on. In your bubble, you can have peace, you can have love, you can have anything that you want. And I hope that over the next few episodes, some things will resonate with you guys and something will touch you. Because what I have noticed sharing my story with some people is the fact that we are pretty much learning the same lessons with different characters. A lot of the things that have happened to me have happened to a lot of other people in the exact same way. The lesson is the same, the characters are different. And that brings me peace because I know that I'm not going crazy. Like, it's not just me living all this stuff. There's a lot of people that are going through this. The only difference is a lot of us are scared to talk about it. A lot of us are scared to open up. Why? Because you become vulnerable and you show this side of you that's hurt, that is in a lot of pain, that went through a lot. And that sucks for us to hear, but it's also difficult to let that side out of you with somebody that might not help you through it. So who better than your own self to help you? You know, you can have these conversations by yourself, wherever you are, in the car, in the bathroom, before you go to bed. Just sit there and ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Do I feel at peace? Or does a part of me feel like there's chaos? I'm worried. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. Something's bothering me that has nothing to do with me. Somebody told me their problems today, and for some reason, I decided to make it my problem. Don't do that. Let me save you some time. Don't do that. Leave those problems to them. But all in all, I would love to keep sharing my stories. Well, I'm still going to do it anyways. For me, this whole project is really, I want to help people. I've always wanted to help people. And I found a way to do that. And in order for me to do that, I have to be completely vulnerable. I cried for like a whole week when I started healing, probably more than that. And it was very painful for me. But these are all things that I will talk about in the next episodes, just so you guys can see how similar some of us are. A lot of people might look at me that know me and think, she's perfect. No, none of us are. And the difference is I'm willing to put it out there to show you I'm not perfect. And even though I'm not perfect, I'm still going for it. I'm gunning for it. Why? Because I love myself. And I owe that to myself. I mean, if I went through so many things, and you probably have too, don't you think you deserve a different life? Or a life that feels peaceful, at least in your brain and in your heart and in your soul? So that's what we're doing here. And if any of this resonates with you, that really means a lot to me. I hope that, it causes a little ripple effect in your life to start thinking differently. Feel free to share your stories with me. Leave comments. If there's any topics in particular that you want to talk about, this space is for everybody. If we can all heal, the world would truly be magical, and it only takes one person to start the domino effect. Now, I'm not saying that's me, but I am definitely ready to do this, and I hope that you guys join me in this ride. And I think that's it. I've talked a nice amount of time. Where we at 21 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Much love to you all, and stay tuned. The next episode will air next Saturday at 7 p.m. Thank you, and divine light.